Here's Lindsay and good morning, my friends. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. They used to say, there used to be an old saying, "Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all the ships at sea." Yeah, that just kind of goes to show how old I am. It's Wednesday, 17th of November of aught 21. Can you believe how fast this year is flying by? It is the John Lavenia Success Mastermind. I'm your guy for today, Glen Henderson, and we're glad to see you with us. Quick little bit of housekeeping. You're in the general session. The hospitality suite shows up right after this. And later on today, we've got at 3 p.m. Eastern Books for Britain with our friend Mandy Anderson, and then Professor. Wait, no, that would be me. I'm not a professor yet that I know of. It's Networking Magic. Tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be talking about something or other around networking. May have a concept or two, something I read that we'll be discussing this evening. Nice to see you, Lindsay. She is here. And Edward holding it down on the other side of the pond. Nice to see you, my friend. Bob and Missy are here. Hey, good to see you, Missy. And Sonia, greetings. Nice to have you with us. Nice to have you with us. And one of my favorite sports talk radio personalities, Chris Mad Dog Russo, likes to say, nice to have you with us on this Wednesday, the 17th of November. Daisy, hello. Nice to see you. I'm feeling sort of strange today. Is that all right with you? So I may say some things that are fairly interesting, I hope, to someone. But I've been thinking about tech recently, as in technology. And I was talking with Paula the other day. So this is going to be, believe it or not, a kind of a tech talk. Can you believe it? Yeah, I'm going to learn a little something about computers and information and data and what to do with it and what not to do and all of that. And no, it's not going to get weird. It's not going to be, you won't need a dictionary or an encyclopedia. Basic concept. There is one basic concept that we're going to be looking at today, and you know, we may veer off into another topic or two as we move along, but right down to it. Several years ago, when I was living in the Middle East, I had occasion at that time to be living in an apartment. Well, it was kind of like a half of a house in a neighborhood there in Doha, Qatar, in the Middle East. You know, which, by the way, most people mispronounce the name of that country. It's spelled Qatar. You know the one I mean? It's a little thumb that sticks off of the. Hey, let me see if I can share my screen. Yes, I can. So you know what we're going to do? In addition to the tech talk, we're going to have a little bit of a quickie geography lesson. What do you say? Let's see. Maps. And I want to show you exactly where this country is. So where is it? World map. So, see, this is what happens when Glenn gets to feeling strange. Because what happens is I'm going to go off and start doing things, and you just get to hang on for the ride, if that's all right with you. So, let's see. Let's show you a map of... yeah, there it is. Now let's see. Let's show you exactly where this place is. And, yep. Yes, here we go. So I'm going to share my screen, and this is where I lived for 10 years. You see Saudi Arabia over there to your left, and let's see. Yeah, I lived right here. If you look over to the right of that little peninsula there, in bold, the black bold, the city of Doha, that's where I lived. Most people mispronounce the name of this lovely little country. It's essentially a pit of sand on a peninsula right off the northeastern coast of Saudi Arabia, and the UAE that you see down there at the bottom of the screen, that is the United Arab Emirates, which is another very, very interesting place to live. So anyway, Qatar. Most people that I know, most Americans, pronounce it either Qatar or Qatar. Qatar, meaning that sort of strange coughing ailment that people get sometimes, which is actually spelled Catarrh, Qatar, or Qatar, as in cut scissors. The correct pronunciation is somewhere in between. It's sort of like if you're wanting to say something to someone about what you did with that piece of paper, but you don't want to be rude because you don't want to spit on somebody. It's what they say is sort of the guttural K or guttural G, like gutter. It's subtle. It's a little weird to get used to saying it, but after a while, gutter becomes sort of second nature if you've lived there for 10 years. Anyway, why did I go off on this tangent? Perhaps someone can drop a note in the chat and explain to me why I went off on that tangent. Anyway, living in Doha, Qatar, for 10 years, and the place where I was living at the time had what's referred to as very dirty electricity. That is, when you walk into a room and throw the light switch, the lights generally come on, yeah? Unless, of course, you had trouble paying your bill or something. The lights generally come on. You want to run the TV, you grab the remote and click, and the TV comes on, right? Or it goes, generally speaking, right? If you want to run something electrical in the house, you plug in the vacuum cleaner and you hit the switch and off you go. In places with dirty electricity, that doesn't always happen quite so reliably. Sometimes you'll throw the switch and the lights will come on, but they'll flicker and you jitter and you feel like, hey, do I have epilepsy or something? That sometimes happens. Flickers and flashes and the lights will go on and off, and sometimes. Now, Qatar is generally modernized as a country, so it doesn't happen a lot. But in this particular location where I was, very dirty electricity. As a matter of fact, one time, and this is kind of why I'm going through this whole story. One time, I was at home, working at home, and I heard what sounded like the sound of bacon frying. It was coming from, I think, somewhere outside the house, extremely loud. Bacon, right? And after about 5 minutes of this, all the lights went out. The lights went out. The TV cut off abruptly. I saw the AC units stopped. You know, they have those split AC units in this place where I was. The unit inside the house, mounted high up on the wall that kind of processes and the air flows through. And you hit the remote and you're controlling this unit, and then the compressor's on the roof. So, hence the split AC units cut off. And then I smelled smoke. I look over, and the power strip into which my computer was plugged in was smoking, putting out puffs of black smoke. Now, you can imagine what I was thinking, because as Bill Cosby used to say, first you say it, then you do it. Oh, yeah. That's what I was thinking. And kind of said it out loud because I was by myself. And so I rush over. And can you believe it? My computer was undamaged. TV was gone. Whole home theater sound system was gone. Had to buy a new washing machine. Bunch of stuff I had to get. I think my microwave oven was blown. It was a nasty, dirty electricity power spike in the area, in the neighborhood. Fried just about every piece of equipment in my house, except, and there was much rejoicing, my laptop. My laptop was saved. Here's why my laptop was saved. I had it plugged into something called a battery backup. Have you seen these things? You go to Office Depot, or you can go online and find them. It's a huge, it's a brick, generally about yay big, or you can have them really huge, and they're heavy as all get out because there's a big battery inside it. You plug this thing in, and you leave it plugged in for a couple of hours, and the battery charges up from the electricity in the line. Then you plug, then it's got outlets and stuff. You plug your different appliances and electronic devices into it. And if there is ever a power spike or a blackout or something happens, lightning strike or whatever, sort of electrical incident, this battery backup, the ones that I use, I have about 4 of them in the house now, and one over at my office. The number one brand in this technology is APC. You may want to write that down. APC. The technical term for this big brick is a UPS. That is an uninterrupted power source. And it is designed that UPS, no, not the brown truck that brings your stuff from Amazon. No. UPS, uninterrupted power source. It is designed not only to absorb the electrical spike from the incident or the lightning strike or whatever, it is also designed to preserve a measure of DC current, direct current electricity inside the battery to keep your laptop or your TV or whatever going for a couple of hours until the municipal problem, let's say, can be resolved. Are you with me so far? So, what I learned that day in Doha was that I was so glad to have plugged my computer into a UPS unit, an APC brand uninterrupted power source unit. So, tech tip number 1, get yourself a couple of UPSs. And I'll say this at the risk of sounding whatever, I don't care how much it costs, and neither should you. Why? What's your TV worth? What's your computer worth? More to the point, what is the information stored in your computer worth to you? So now you understand when I say I don't care what that UPS costs, and neither should you. Right? So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2. And it also begins with a story. I worked for a great many years as an IT consultant, IT support professional and consultant, primarily, but not entirely, but primarily supporting Apple products, Mac technology, Mac OS technology. Did that for well nigh 20 years. Had a blast. Got to work for Apple for a while, which was one of the greatest jobs I ever had in my whole life. Working for Apple is kind of like working spending every day, living every day on the bleeding edge of computer technology. Like stuff I didn't even understand. I got to understand it, with the training and everything. But it was amazing, absolutely amazing job. They flew me out to Cupertino for a month's training and got this. Oh, it was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And I bought some stuff. At Apple headquarters that you literally cannot get anywhere else in the world because they only sell it at the headquarters in Cupertino. Very cool. Some t-shirts, some other swag and things. So anyway, you see what's going on with my brain today? I'm just digressing, tangenting all over the place. And Mandy is just sort of laughing at me like, man, why can't you get yourself organized? Come on, mate. Get it together, man. Anyway, worked for Apple, and I learned from the experience of many of my clients, and unfortunately from my own experience, the absolute necessity of this second tech tip. Because I once walked into a client appointment and found the gentleman sitting in his office, crying his eyes out. He was a graphic designer, had been very successful and really creative guy, had created some wonderful designs. I'd worked for him. I'd met him once before. And I walk in and the guy's inconsolable. What happened? Oh, my computer died. My Mac died. Okay. That's horrible. That's terrible. Well, let's see what we can do to get you fixed up. Where's your backup drive so that we can restore your... The man had not backed up his data, had not backed up his computers. I'll explain that in a minute. For a couple of years. You can't imagine the value of the information that he lost. We were able to recover it. Well, I was able to recover his information. Wow, right? Now let me tell you how I recovered his information. It was and is at the time a company, I believe the company is called Disk Rescue, where you can actually take your hard drive, the guts of your computer, the tank where your data lives in your computer. You can actually pull that out and mail it to this company, and they will go to work on it and restore all the data for you. They'll find it and reorganize it and send it back to you with as much data as they are able to recover from your computer. You're waiting for the punchline, right? You're waiting for the catch. This gentleman had what was at that time a fairly good-sized hard drive in his computer. I think, if memory serves, I think his hard drive was somewhere, I think around a couple of 100 gigabytes, something like that, of data. Now, around the turn of the century, around 2000, 2002, 2003, that's a lot of data at that time. That's a pretty big hard drive at that time. We sent it off to this company, and they restored it for him. Did a phenomenal job. Restored something like 90% of the data that he'd lost. Yeah, and the good news was it only cost him $12,000. You got $12,000 laying around? Which, by the way, in today's dollars, probably roughly twice that. So you got 20 grand lying around? Great. Don't buy a backup drive for your computer. I got to the point where I made it my personal policy. I didn't care what any of the other consultants did that I knew, the other people in the companies where I worked. I didn't care what they did. I had a policy. If I was going to sell someone a computer, which I did quite a bit of when I was working for Apple, or if I was going to advise someone in regards to their purchase of a computer, their proposed purchase of a computer. I built the price of a backup system into the purchase price of their computer. And if that person or that potential client didn't want to purchase the backup system, I would not sell them a computer. Because I have been there. And here's where I get to tell the story on myself. There was a time, I think also when I was living in Doha, that I actually lost my entire laptop to a power spike. Lost everything. Lost all my files, all my data, all my personal information, several tens of thousands of songs from my music collection. Lost it all because I did not have a reliable backup solution. Now, there are several different ways that you can go with a backup solution. A lot of people nowadays will back up. That is, when I say backup, you know what I mean when I say backup? I'll just explain very quickly for those who may not be familiar. Backing up your data means you are essentially creating a copy of your entire computer in a location other than inside your computer itself. Simple enough? People do it. Most people today back up their computers, make that copy of their files on the cloud. Not going to get into all the technology. Basically, the cloud is somebody else's computer in another location, a commercial, some company that sells storage space on their computer on what they call their server farms, huge, massive computer storage, where for a fee, generally speaking, they will store copies of your computer data. It's a fairly simple solution until that company goes out of business, which has happened before. Now, where's your data? Now, and I'm not, by the way, I don't mean to put down or to disparage or to talk bad about cloud backup solutions. They're terrific. You get with the right company, you get the right service package, you get good support from that company to answer questions and help you through the process. Cloud storage is fantastic. I love cloud storage. I also love physical hard drive storage. Something in my house, separate from my computer, as you can see, but something where I can plug it in. I plug this baby in. As a matter of fact, this one just arrived yesterday, and I'm doing a backup right now as we speak. I'm running an app, running a program on my computer to create a copy of my data here on my Western Digital external hard drive. I like to be able to plug it in, do my backup, make my copy, unplug it, and go put it someplace. Or leave it plugged in. This is the best idea. Leave it plugged into your computer all the time. And there are several different programs that you can use that will keep running copies. What's called deltas. Delta copies of your data, your files, your pictures, your music, your TV shows, your movies. That's what I mean by data. Keep copies of all that stuff on the external drive, so that if, heaven forbid, something happens to your computer, you've got everything saved. And the program, the one that I use is one made by Apple called Time Machine. It keeps track, and several times a day, this program launches itself and copies over anything in my data, my movies, my files, my TV shows, my music, everything else, anything that has changed in the past 24 hours. Oh, you downloaded a new movie. Great, let me make a copy of that over to your external hard drive so you don't lose it. Oh, you made some changes to that file you were working on. Great, let me make an updated copy of the file over here to you so you don't lose the work that you did. Am I keeping this simple enough so that even a knucklehead like me can understand it? So this is tech tip Number two. Tech tip number two is back it up, baby. Back it up. Back. Yeah, back it up. Get yourself a hard drive. There are so many good brands. Western Digital comes to mind. Seagate comes to mind. There are any number. Go online. Go wherever you shop online and search for external hard drives. External hard drive storage. I don't know how much storage to recommend to you. I will say this. Two things. First of all, no one in the history of the computer industry has ever complained about having too much storage space. So I would say buy as much storage space as you can afford. This guy here, which I just took delivery on yesterday, costs about $280, maybe $300 with tax. And this will store 14 terabytes of data, which essentially means everything I've ever learned in my entire life could be stored like here on this box, more or less. 14 terabytes, let's just say several billion photographs. You got several billion photographs on your computer? Probably not. If you did, you could store them all here. There's plenty of storage space. So buy as much storage space as you can afford. Trust me, you won't regret it, because you won't need to worry when you're getting ready to download a new movie or a new TV show or whatever it is that you're doing. You get downloading a bunch of ebooks, they'll all fit. And the second thing, the other thing I'll recommend when it comes to backing up your data, is find somebody who's really, really good with computers and ask for their advice. You can get good advice online. You can get good advice from people that you know, perhaps at your job, maybe someone at the IT department at your job. Yes, you can reach out to yours truly. I'll help as much as I can. If I don't know the answer to a question, I probably know where you can find it. So, 2 tips for today. Number 1, save it. That is, remember the UPS. Get yourself a UPS. Get yourself a good UPS. I recommend APC brand. UPS. APC is the brand. UPS stands for uninterrupted power source. And there, get the biggest one you can afford. You can get them in a size that will provide you with up to, say, 6 hours of electricity to keep your computer and everything going until the municipal problem is resolved. And you can get them with like 4 outlets, 6, 8 outlets, whatever you need. Although, again, no one I know of has ever complained about having too many outlets or having too big a backup battery. So that's the one. And the second is, if you don't already have one, get yourself a backup solution, a good hard drive. If you want to run cloud storage, like storing it online to somebody else's computer, fantastic. As a matter of fact, I recommend that you back up your files, your computers, your important information to at least, you ready? To at least 3 different sources outside of your computer. At least 3. Why? Companies go out of business. Equipment breaks down. Stuff gets lost. Ish happens. Know what I'm saying? Stuff happens. You just don't know. Right now, I'm backing up my data to 5 different sources, 5 different destinations, both online, both physical storage and cloud storage. Because I ain't taking no chances. The stuff that I've got is too important to trust to just one backup solution. How about you? This doesn't have to be real expensive. As I said, 14 terabytes, about $300. Again, $300? Oh, Glenn, it's so expensive. $300, man. Why would I want to spend? What is your music worth to you? What are your movies worth to you? What are your most important files? What are your work files worth to you? What's that book that you've been working on? What's that worth to you? What is all the data and files and information in your life worth to you? Is it worth $300? Only you can answer this question. But I will strongly recommend that each of us do everything in our power to preserve, because I have been there. I'm telling you right now, I have been at the business end of a catastrophic data failure, catastrophic data loss. I wanted to kill myself. Thankfully for all of us, I didn't. But I wanted to. And I would hate to see you in that position, feeling that kind of complete helplessness. Like I felt like, oh my God, it's all gone. And if everything that I've said so far hasn't convinced you, take a moment and think about that. What if you were to get up tomorrow morning and walk into your office or your room or wherever and open up your computer and it was blank? Nothing on it. Everything blown, fried, erased. Nothing left. Is avoiding that feeling worth $300? Is it worth the hassle, the little hassle of setting things up to preserve your data, to preserve your work, your life, your leisure time, your entertainment? Is it worth the hassle to set it up so that all of those things are saved in several different places? Well, certainly is for me. And so, here endeth the lesson. Preserve it, protect it, and back it up. What do you think? What is on your mind? Somebody says, back up on a tech call for a deserted... Oh, Missy. Are you saying, Bob, Missy, are you in a situation where you've saved some data, you've sent some data to a company that's now gone?
No, Bluehost has destroyed my website 4 times. This is the 4th time. And I had to mute myself from the screaming. So I couldn't pay attention. My screaming. So if you could just put the name of that thing that you got, because I couldn't hear properly, I would really so appreciate it.
Sure. This is the name of the battery backup. It's called an APC UPS. That is an uninterrupted... Okay, now you all are about to see whether I can actually spell.
And that's the thing that you just held up a minute ago?
No, that's something else, which I will also get over to type in just a moment. Uninterrupted power source. So now the battery backup, you should expect to pay anywhere from $150 to about $400, somewhere in there.
That's nothing.
Yeah, and now what you're talking about, the external hard drive, Missy, this is the one that I just had delivered yesterday. It's made by Western Digital, and is called Western Digital Easy Store. And the one that I have is 14 terabytes. So that's one. A couple of other brands you can look at. I think I mentioned Seagate. You can go look at other places online. Now, if you want to go with something really sophisticated, now I'm going to tell you right now This is the kind of what I'm about to mention is a backup system that will not only do your backups in your home and provide protection and all of that, you can actually use this system to access your files from quite literally anywhere in the world where you have an internet connection. It's basically home cloud storage, home-based cloud storage. And the company, I have a unit in my house. The company is called Synology. Synology, and it is home-based cloud storage. It's also known as NAS, N-A-S, which means network attached storage. If you have a network in your house, not everyone does. If you have a network in your house, you can set this up so that you can access, well, actually, you do have a network in your house. It's called Wi-Fi. So if you got Wi-Fi in your house, you can set up this Synology unit, and they come in all sorts of sizes, so that you can access your music, your movies, your files, and everything from any computer in the house without having to have big hard drives attached to your big external hard drives attached to your computers. And then when you're traveling, you can literally watch a movie from your hotel room on your laptop. You can watch a movie from your home Synology unit. Okay, I'm starting to get a little complicated now. The basic premise is protect it with the battery backup and save it, preserve it with some sort of backup solution. External hard drive, home cloud storage. It can get really complicated. What I'd recommend off the bat, just get one of these guys. Plug it into your laptop. Plug it into your home computer and let it do its work. They always come with software that's fairly straightforward to understand and operate, and at least protect your home computer. That's the bare minimum. Virginia, good morning. How do you do?
Good morning. This is a great topic. Really interesting. And I actually have an external hard drive. I actually have Western Digital's Easy Store, a much smaller version.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and have not done anything about it, that the last backup was in January.
Oh,
I'm like, what's up with that?
what did you find out?
I don't know even how I was looking at it or something. I can't remember, but it was nothing is backed up on here since actually, I guess I went to the drive itself, through my computer. And so part of the problem I have as a person who started with floppy disks on little computers,
Yes.
DOS systems and everything.
Oh,
and
yes.
all that. Part of my problem is back then we used to have very specific manuals and instructions, and now you buy a product and you don't get a book with it. You get this little basic startup, and then you got to go somewhere and you got to try to figure it out, and it's very abbreviated. And so it's you maybe think something is working, but you don't.
Yeah.
You don't have the milk delivered to your house by the milkman. You don't have the gas pumped for you by the gas attendant. You have to do everything for yourself in the last, 30 years or more or something. And I'm of the era that still got some of that benefit of having services provided for you,
The double-edged sword of autonomy. The good news is you get to do it yourself. The bad news is you get to do it yourself.
Yes, exactly. So I have that. What was Seagate again that you put in the comments?
Seagate is another brand of external hard drive manufacturer. There another one, which I'm going to drop in here. These are probably the top ones. There are others. The top ones that I'm aware of are Western Digital, Seagate, and LaCie, L-A-C-I-E. LaCie drives. So those are the things. Now, Virginia, a couple of things occur to me in your case. It's possible that something was configured or set up incorrectly in your backup so that that backup routine just stopped working at some point. And that's possible, in which case you may need to have a technician look at it and advise you, how to reconfigure or reset your backup routine, the software of your backup routine. It's also possible that your hard drive is full
Oh
and you
gosh,
just
no.
may not have enough room to store more data.
I don't think so. I don't think it's that. I think it just
Okay.
stops them now. Yeah.
That's possible. Yeah, that is possible. Now, there's another possibility that comes to mind, and here is a pro tip for all of us: be prepared to replace your hardware about every 3 years, about every somewhere in there, about everywhere 2 to 3 years. Because why? Because stuff breaks. Technology wears out. Warranties expire, and the last thing you want is to be caught in a situation where you've got to do critical backups of a mission, what we used to call mission critical data, mission critical files, and your hard drive crashes out on you at the worst possible time. So I like to just replace stuff. It can get a little pricey, but again, what's your stuff worth? What are those family heirloom photographs worth to you?
If I could jump in, I
Sure.
rewatching one of the special events on JLSM, and it was John's sales 2-day thing that he did. And one of the overcoming objections was when the customer says, "What is this going to cost?" And his answer is, "Well, what do you mean? Do you mean what it's going to cost if you buy it, or what is it going to cost if you don't buy it?"
Ooh, nice. Yeah, absolutely. I learned that lesson, as I say, personally and the hard way, by being presented with that terrible prospect, the terrible reality of having lost everything. And I can tell you, it cost me probably 18 months and tens of thousands of dollars to restore everything I lost. I don't want anybody to ever have to go through what I did.
Yeah,
So,
that's bad news. If I could, I have a couple more things. I
Sure.
am also backing up to Google Drive,
okay.
which I do manually.
All right.
Because quite honestly, I don't want every photograph I ever take to be saved.
Of
I
course.
just go through and delete them, remove them. I don't want everything to automatically be saved.
Mhm.
And what also has come to I've been working on all this, actually, as you can tell. I've been trying to consolidate and actually downgrade. Do I really need those documents from 10 years ago that I've never referred to? Can I just get rid of them at this point? And I find that I have things all over the place. I have stuff in OneDrive. Oh my gosh, OneDrive I can't stand, because every email account you have through Microsoft gives you a OneDrive, and I just discovered too and verified with Best Buy. For those in Canada, I don't know if you have Best Buy, or the UK of Best Buy is a big technical store here, but I verified with them that everything that is being saved supposedly to OneDrive is also it's been defaulted to store in my computer in a OneDrive folder, not in my regular documents under my users. I don't have Apple, I have Windows. So I now have to move everything out of that OneDrive on my computer hard drive into actually the C users, my name, my documents. It was causing issues with Quicken program, my financial software program, and that's really somehow now I have to figure out how to go in or call Geek Squad and tell them to stop saving things to my OneDrive. I don't want it to go there.
Yeah, those Geek Squad guys are pretty good.
And I will put a plug in for them. I bought their $200 a year total tech support, which includes WebRoot, which is their antiviral program. And antiviral programs, what are they, like $60 anyway or something?
At most.
Yeah. So you can call them 24/7 on all your devices, your computers, your phones, my printer. I took my printer in the other day, actually in person, because after trying to troubleshoot it over the phone, we determined it was something with the printer and it's just too old and needs to be replaced. But yeah, I mean, if you don't have a tech support and you can get Geek Squad for $200 a year, it's the best deal out there.
Yeah, Geek Squad is a really, really good deal. That's true.
And I know we're not supposed to be plugging things, so I apologize. But
that is all right. I don't think that's quite all right. I don't think Geek Squad offers a paid affiliate program. So there's
I don't think they do either. But yeah, they can remote link into my computer and see what I'm talking about, and I don't have to bring it in and fix it right here.
There are any number of private computer consultants where you can get the same sort of service as you're getting with Geek Squad. It really depends on your budget and what you're prepared to do. But, I mean, that sounds like a good deal. A couple $100 a year, and you got 24/7 service. What was I going to say?
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as doing backups manually, I agree, because again, there are certain things that I don't want published and stored all over the place. And so, as you know, Virginia, and as many of us know, there is a way, and I don't want this to get too technical. There is a way to have your backups be only a portion or a subset of all the information on your computer. And it's fairly straightforward to do. Again, if anybody's got questions, Virginia's right in the middle of this. And listen, I'm not trying to farm you out as a consultant here, Virginia. If you've got questions, call up your local Geek Squad or call me or somebody like that, and we can certainly point you to the right information to get what you need. So, my wrap-up question here. Is everyone now thoroughly convinced of the fact that you must preserve your hardware with a battery backup solution, and you must preserve all your files and data and information with a backup solution? Several backup solutions. Everybody straight? Cool with that? My work is done here. All right, listen, come on back and see us in the hospitality suite. Come say hello to Mandy this evening at 3 p.m. Eastern, and come on back and let's talk networking tonight at 9 Eastern with me. So great to see you. Missy, I do hope that tech support thing works out for you with Bluehost. If not, reach out. We may be able to put you in touch with somebody. Anyway, have a great afternoon. Make it a great afternoon, y'all. See you very, very soon.
Bye.
Bye for now.